It was a scene of chaos, anger, protest, and determination. Wisconsin voters donning masks, lining up at the height of a global pandemic, forced to exercise their right to vote at the risk of contracting a deadly virus.
Election day, they had to make this terrible choice of, do I go vote and risk getting the virus, or do I just not vote because my absentee ballot didn't show up?
And yet, with a pandemic almost certainly still a threat, in-person voting is likely to be the norm again in the U.S. presidential election in November. Voting rights advocates are pressing for universal mail-in voting.
No robust, fully functioning democracy should ever be at a cost of people having to choose between their health and their voices. And we should be making elections easier for people to vote.
But the battle over how Americans will vote has evolved into a war. Democrats have filed lawsuits to expand voting by mail. Republicans are opposing those suits and forging ahead with elections as usual. The reliably Republican state of Nebraska is going ahead with its in-person May 12th primary. It could soon be too late to move to mostly mail-in voting. That requires time to sign contracts and order supplies, and money, $4 billion worth, according to the Brennan Center for Justice. So far, Congress has promised $400 million. 5 states already have universal mail-in voting, where a ballot is automatically sent to every registered voter, and Americans approve. A Reuters poll in April found 72% of them want the government to require mail-in voting in November. That includes 2/3 of Republicans. But mail-in voting has some powerful opponents, and one of them lives in the White House.
Mail ballots are a very dangerous thing for this country because they're cheaters.
Since the U.S. Civil War, conservatives have used everything from poll taxes, literacy tests, and now the threat of voter fraud to suppress efforts to expand voting.
I think a lot of times Republicans put up voter suppression efforts as a way to confuse people and ultimately turn people away from voting. And if you confuse people enough, then people are just going to sit out. And so, throw in a global pandemic in there, voting isn't always at the forefront of your mind if you're quite literally worried about staying alive.
With just 6 months to go, come November, much of the U.S. could look like Wisconsin in April. John Hendren, Al Jazeera, Chicago.